So it was a tiring day today, in the sense that I haven't had a good night of sleep because I was intending to travel to the city where I could sell my laptop. Because my laptop is somewhat of a high-end one, and I don't expect retailers to want to buy it from me. It's quite pricey, and people don't need that in my city. That's what I assume. So I've contacted this person online. It's someone who has a big presence on Instagram, something approximation 400k followers, and I suggested to sell him my laptop. I sent him the link from which I've bought it. Basically, it's an Amazon laptop that hasn't been opened, and it taken some time to arrive. So by the time it arrived, 6 months by the way, I've already gotten myself another laptop. I told him that. I told him that the laptop that I have is a refurbished one, but there was a misunderstanding, or rather, a lack of effort from the retailer that I wanted to sell my laptop to. When I sent my messages to him, he didn't fully read them to see that the laptop that I wanted to sell him is refurbished. And when I got in there, it was none of the scenarios that have played out in my mind. And that's what I'm going to talk about actually. First of all, he denied that he told me that he would buy a laptop, which wasn't the case. He plainly texted me that. He told me, bring the laptop, I wanna buy it. I was expecting myself to be negotiating the price and having the issue that would make me not wanna sell the laptop would be that he would ask for a lower price, or that's something completely different from him directly denying that he would buy the laptop from me, because he doesn't buy refurbished laptops. And so all these scenarios that have played out in my mind. Why? Because there was a time when I was obsessively looking out for a new laptop, and I've looked for months for a new laptop. I looked every information related to it, the specs, everything. I wanted to have the perfect laptop for the budget that I had in mind. And I guess to some extent everyone does that. But through this process, I developed some habits where I started looking at Instagram pages of laptop sellers. And the more I've looked into those stories, and it became as if I knew the person. It's as if my trust grew towards the person that's going to buy the laptop from me, even though I've never talked to them. So when I went, I was expecting a completely different response from the seller, because I subconsciously thought, or that I naively thought, that since I was looking that person's stories and I was going to receive a different treatment. So here's my lowdown on all of this. First of all, don't assume that people know you, or that they will behave in the same way they behave on the internet when they have no idea who you are. So that's one point. And before I move on, I wanted to say that people that are usually nice to you on the internet, from my experience, they are the same way in real life. So if you meet someone on the internet and you go meet them in real life, they're going to treat you the same way. I'm talking about people that are aware of your existence, not a random seller that doesn't know your existence or how attached to his brand or whatever. And the second point, which is the last point, don't get too attached to these material things, which sounds like a cliche thing to say, but I spent a lot of time researching the laptop and constantly hesitating over which one I will take. And it took 6 months for it to arrive after I ordered it from Amazon. And I don't live in the US, so it's the reason why it's taken that long. But after all that obsessive and calculations and all of that, in the end, the laptop that I'm using right now is the one that my brother gifted me. I couldn't have calculated that or anticipated that I would receive a laptop from my brother. And the laptop from Amazon that I waited for months is actually sitting on my bed. It's doing nothing. I need to sell it myself. So yeah, that's the idea that I wanted to talk about today, and thanks for listening.